All right. Hey, everybody. We are doing the chapters 13 and 14 of Get Over Yourself tonight. And we're going to start off with your time is worth $962 an hour. Who here has ever been paid $962 an hour? That's insane. But as you guys saw, she opened up the chapter with some really good questions. And time is our most valuable resource. And I would agree with that 100%. So just curious, how many of you did that get in action equation? Did you figure it out? Raise of hands. Did you figure out what is your dream pay? What would you like to take home in a year? And you could even go to like the diamond, the average that says there. Did you use that, or did you just have an idea of what you want? And then did you do the math? Because I hope you did. And she did her math, and what she wrote down was $1 million. That was her goal, was $1 million. And that's where she got $962 an hour. So, if you were, I'm serious, you guys, what's the most you've ever been paid an hour? My husband's a diesel mechanic, and I think $25 an hour is pretty, what he would get paid, maybe a little bit more now. But that's pretty good. I don't know what other jobs pay per hour, but that's a lot per hour. So, our time is very valuable. And so we really need to be thinking about how we're using our time, and are we valuing our time, and what we're spending it on. Okay. So would love to hear thoughts on this chapter. I'm just going to open it up.
So I did the math with what I wanted, and my time, well, now I'm not sure I did it right, but I think I want to make $200 an hour, working 20 hours a week. And I just did this on pen and paper here. I'm in it like old school, so I'm not sure if that's right. But another step I did was I took what I make, and I took how many hours a week I'm working, and I figured out what my hourly pay is. And there is no way I will get matched anywhere, even with, I have a college degree and all that jazz, and it wouldn't even touch it, what I make right now. So I thought that was kind of interesting to look back. Really count the numbers of hours we work a week and count what you're taking home. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yep. I love that you did that, because I thought of that too. I didn't do that, but I thought of that as well. Because, tell you what, teaching elementary PE part-time. Yeah. Or just even stay at home mom and all the hours. I think I've seen that in books too, just the equation of what you don't get paid for that job, and all the work that it goes into just managing your home, that's awesome, Rhonda, that you figured that out. I love that.
And she talks about, like, she went to her company's first convention. I was extremely blessed to get to go to Leaders Retreat, and being there and like having my mind blown, like every minute that I was there, of seeing all this stuff like that. I didn't even have to do this equation, because I knew, like, I want to go to the top. I want to do this, like seeing all of that. So, the fact that getting to events and seeing it all, like getting to what you want to make an hour to get there, it's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For me to kind of take that one step further, I compared what I used to make working full time and the hours I used to put in just at my desk compared to what I estimate I work now and what I make now. And I was kind of shocked. I already make more now per hour than I did working 40 hours a week with a degree at work. And I'm nowhere close to where I plan to be. And that doesn't include, the cost I paid for daycare. That doesn't include gas. That doesn't include all the hours traveling back and forth to work and not getting home with my family until 6:30 every night. That's kind of eye-opening for me for sure.
Oh, I love that. I love that you did those comparisons. So good.
I really like page 174 and 175. And I liked this the first time that we went through this book too, because I'm a person that I'm kind of all or nothing. And I would love to put 8 hours a day into my business. The reality is I have another full-time job, 2 little kids, and I ain't gonna work no 8 hours a day on this business. So in my mind, I would tend to go to, if I'm not doing as much as I want to be doing in the way that I want to be doing it, I would see that day as a failure. And I feel like that would hold me up. And I know that that's been a struggle for other people as well. I think you want your day to look a certain way, and we try to accomplish all the things in a day, but life happens, right? And so then if we don't get all the things done that we think we're supposed to be done, we're just like, well, that day was a failure. I must be just not succeeding at my business. And that can get in the way of your mindset. And I think how she talks about being proactively running your business instead of reacting to it, and just taking it day by day really has helped me. So like on the weekends, just kind of planning out my week with what's already on the calendar, but then every night looking at my next day and saying, okay, I've got this and this and this. Those are my non-negotiables. Those are things that cannot be altered. Where are my pockets of time in this next day that I can successfully operate my business and feel good about it at the end of the day? And sometimes I still don't get all the things done that I want to get done, but being proactive that way gets you to the end of the day feeling like, yay me, like I've accomplished some things today, instead of taking the mindset of, boy, that was a failure, I didn't get this and this and this done. Looking at it from, I was able to get this done in spite of an extremely full and busy schedule.
Mhm. Yeah, that's such good thought, Shelley, because it's really, that's where she talks about time blocking too, right? Like you have to, like, there's the non-negotiables, there's the things that you are going to schedule in. And we've talked about, I mean, there's been team calls about it. Like we've talked about that. I know it's something that I work on. I've got my calendar right here. And, and she talks about, like, I have my workout scheduled in. That's a non-negotiable for me, and, I have, my scheduled coaching calls that are scheduled in, my weekly ones that are just, that's what we do every week. We figured out a time that works for my leaders and me, and that's what we do. And if we have to rearrange it because stuff pops up, like, I love that she brings that up too. There's no way that we're going to have an ideal perfect day every time, kids get sick. Yesterday I had to find a hotel for a convention that I thought I had booked but I didn't. And so that took a big chunk of my day. I mean, that just like, I had this big chunk. I was like, sweet, we've got nothing today. And Kevin and I had to, we just spent some time figuring that out and some conversations. So, like, just stuff pops up that is unexpected, kid forgets homework or a lunch or whatever, and some good things too, like a friend calls and, you want to be able to spend time talking to some of your family member, so you want to have your hands open to like good things that can happen. And that's where this job is a blessing, because getting your IPA done can fit into the pockets too, so same thing, Shelley, when I didn't work full time, but when I was going to school, my pockets of time were when I got things done, and so, it's important to make sure that you're time blocking and then not feeling, yes, that your day is a failure if things didn't go perfect. And she talks about that too, celebrating the little things, you know, that was like more in chapter 14, but just celebrating those things, even the little steps, you know, like, okay, I got my IPA done first thing in the morning before noon. So I have time to do extra this afternoon, or I have time to do an extra call or or whatever. Or I can put my phone away, you know, and I can spend that extra time because the downtime is important. So yeah, great thoughts there.
I loved the next section on page 175 and 176 where she talks about your stop doing list. I have had kind of a big chunk in my journey where I had to learn to say no. And that, for I feel like a lot of us, is really hard because we want to do all the things. We want to be all the things to all the people, the room moms, the trophy wife that's baking, you know, my husband's a salesman. So baking the things for his customers that I know they love, that kind of thing. And that's really hard to sometimes analyze your goals and say, is this going to help me get to my goal? And if it's not, I have to say no, and not forever, but for a time. And so I think that sometimes we just need to pull back a little in what is important right now. And if I have a big goal and I'm not getting my work done and I'm not, you know, being consistent with what I know I need to do, what's holding me back, and just being really honest about that. I might have to say no to something that I can say yes to later, but I can't right now. And that's, I feel like that's something I've had to learn.
To kind of build off that, when I was trying to decide if I was going to really go all in with Plexus or pursue the other business that I had going on, you know, when you sit down and figure out what you want to make per hour, there's nothing else I could do to make this per hour. So that helped me to decide where I wanted to go. And also, you know, you don't feel like you're doing your IPA right now. I feel like watching Netflix and just zoning out for a little bit. Is that worth $250 an hour? Because that's what I want to make an hour. So is watching my latest show, which I don't even have anymore, but, you know, spending a time doing nothing, wasting your time, not learning, not doing anything, is that worth $250? Or, you know, and sometimes it is. It also makes you be really intentional with your time. Like I took the morning and spent outside. It was beautiful out. So I took some time and just enjoyed being outside and cleaning up the yard. And that was worth the money to me because it's Michigan and it's finally nice out. So it was worth it. But, you know, it makes you count your minutes and make them count. So that's been interesting for me.
So, I don't know if I'm chiming in or not. Can you hear? Am I on? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you, girl.
Okay, this is the first time I spoke on this. So what really stood out for me is the bottom paragraph on page 176. I'm new, so I run a business. And so I run a cleaning business. And so I'm constantly moving. I have the luxury of having my phone on me so I can check Facebook, I can do shout outs, but I liked the bottom paragraph because it gave some structure and some time, like setting my phone for 5 minutes, doing doing my post, doing 5 people's posts, giving them some love, and then a couple shout outs and moving on. That is obtainable when you're having to put your focus in a lot of places.
Yep.
Okay.
That's so good. Thanks, Bree. Good job. Everybody give Bree a hand for talking. That's scary to do. Good job, girl. I'm so glad you said that. And that is so true because it's just true. I mean, because it's really easy. We all get stuck in that. I know I can too, where you start watching videos or you just scroll or you just start liking one post after the next. But if you can get that focus time in, that's that thing. Same thing like what Christy said, count your minutes and make them count, you know, like, and then you can do more later, you know, but with you running your other business and you doing this and trying to grow this, you've got to do those small chunks quickly, get in, get out. And she gives so many good tips about that. So yes, I'm glad you brought that up. That I think is a big struggle for a lot of us. We all can get sucked in very quickly to a lot of different things online. And she just had some really good thoughts for that for sure. So thanks for sharing. Anybody else?
Me. I don't know if it was this chapter or the next one, but I liked how she had said to write down whenever you're scrolling on Facebook or whatever, because I know that I scroll all the time on Facebook. And then if I like can calculate it out and actually figure out how much scrolling I'm doing and then take that time and put it into something else, I think that would really help me out.
Yep. Even just her talking about it, it's like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
You know, so love it. Kenzie, thanks for talking to you. Haven't shared a ton either.
No, I don't
Well-
really like to talk on here, but I need to be more brave.
Yes, I love it. Oh, good job, girl. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
So good. See, it's not so scary, guys. We're all friends here. I know we gotta probably keep rolling here, but any other thoughts on this? I mean, I loved, that stop doing list, Janelle, that spoke to me so big time. I've learned how to say no enough, you guys, that the secretary at our school literally said to me, I just know not to call you because you're probably going to say no anyway. She said that to me. She's real bold and she's super funny and sarcastic, but I was like, you're right. Because I'm like, can I fit that in my day? Nope, I cannot. I've got other things that I need to get done today. And it's just, you end up feeling really okay with it and learning what is valuable to say yes to and what you need to say no to. It's just really important to have those boundaries. Those are called boundaries. And to recognize what's going to feed your business and what's good for your family. Like, I'm going to say yes to that. Like driving my daughters to their choir thing. I could say yes to that. And thankfully I told my team, like, I'm not going to be super available. And they were like, good for you, because you've worked hard for that time, and that felt so good. Cause you do feel like you've got this big team and you want to be there, but there's times where you need to say yes to other things because those are important and valuable. And that's what we're working hard for, so I love that section. Rhonda, anything you want to pop in here? Some extra thoughts for those last several pages?
I don't think so. I think that's a good segue into, the next chapter and taking care of yourself and, having your cake and eating it too and finding those boundaries. I know this is something that I've kind of struggled with along the way, but I'm getting a lot better. Learning to say no, like we just talked about, and then also saying yes to help. And, I just hired a cleaning lady. That was a huge goal for me. Like as I grew in the business, that was like something that was really, really important to me. And it's been amazing. I'd much rather work my business than clean my house. It's not my gift.
Your house looks amazing all the time though, you guys. If you've ever been around his house, it's always looks very picked up. Maybe you just picked up when I would come over, but
Oh yeah, that's the only reason I'd clean if I had friends coming over. But yes, like saying yes to downtime. I've also, and this I've had for a long time, is my downtime is from 2 to 3. The phone goes off, it goes on silent. I'll take a nap, I'll watch a show, like that's it. But I'm just kind of curious if anybody else has scheduled me time or downtime, something that they do. Apparently not.
nobody, you all just are working your business 24/7 or sleep. What's going on?
Well,
Well,
I'll talk. I'll be very open.
go, Shelley.
Ask Sal, we've had this conversation. You guys, like it's almost hypocritical because I preach this to people, like self-care, right? And I feel like sometimes you just kind of get wrapped up in the excitement, momentum, passion of your business. And every waking moment or every open moment, you feel like, I need to just be doing that next thing. And those are the moments where I will start to feel more overwhelmed. I will start to see my anxiety levels creep up, all those things. And I had this talk with Sal in a coaching call recently, and she's like, well, why do you think that is? I don't think I'm scheduling any Shelly time in. And so we had another coaching call today, and Sal, full confession, before we got on the coaching call, and I'm like thinking about this, I'm like, I'm going to quick schedule in some Shelly time. So if she asks me if what I did about it since we last talked, I've got it written down in my planner. So at 9:30 tonight, Shelly's getting in a tub that's big enough to fit my whole body in, and it's Shelly time tonight. But no, like in all seriousness though, guys, it's so important. It really, really is. Whatever you need to like decompress for just even 20, 30 minutes, just do it. There's always going to be something else that we can do in our business. There's always going to be something else that we can do in our house or whatever. Like, it'll wait for you. It's going to be there tomorrow. And even if you get that next thing done, there's going to be something else that's going to be following it. So if you don't purposely take that time, it's just going to end up kicking you in the butt, which it's done to me several times. So anyway, I totally love that part.
That's awesome, Shelly. I
That's hilarious.
yeah. I had to say, you know, like we do, it's funny because she does say in this chapter too, you know, here I've just spent this whole book preaching to you about working your biz and doing all the things and all that. But now I'm saying, you know, make sure that you take time out for yourself. But it's so true. It is, because you got to think about, you know, if you have a job like Shelly, how many hours do you work at your full-time job?
Oh, about 8 to 8.5 a day.
Right. So
Give or take. Yeah, sometimes a little more, but if I have a closing or something, but yeah.
yeah, you know, and like our regular jobs too. I mean, we would take downtime from those. You need to do the same with this. You can work this 24/7. You can, because we're talking to people in all the time zones and we talk to people who are up late at night, me, and early risers, a lot of people, you know, and you can do this. And the beauty is that we can do it anywhere, you know, but that also can sometimes be a detriment too. You've got to make sure, I mean, it's awesome that we can go on vacation and we can sign somebody up, but then that we can put our phone away and we can, you know, go sledding or skiing with our family, right, Rhonda? Like that's what you did. You worked your business while your family was on the slopes, right? And you know, we did a coaching call, or we did like a vision casting call while she's literally sitting in her car waiting for her family to come down from like doing this extreme sledding thing. And she's literally like, I've got 15 minutes. Let's do this, you know, so you can do that, but then you put your phone away, right? And you spent quality time, you know. One thing I know, I don't work on Sunday, and I know a lot of people here don't work on Sunday. That is a non-negotiable for me. I don't take phone calls. I don't schedule calls. And honestly, that is like my favorite day of the week. It really is. I love Sundays. Sometimes I get online, but a lot of times I don't. Sometimes I don't even post on Sunday, maybe a Bible verse, but that's it. And it is just so relaxing. I mean, it just feels so good to know that that's a full day that I take off. And a lot of times I feel like I see even our team taking Saturdays off. You know, I see messages pop up and back and forth, but you know, people are truly taking weekends. Now, I'm not saying if you are running and you've got a runner and you are in huge momentum and we're at the end of the month and you are trying to hit a big goal, you have to rethink that, you know, like there's going to be times where you're going to have to work Saturdays and, you know, but I know I've girls on my team too that have hit really, really big goals by taking their Sunday off, you know, and not, you know, and really staying true to that. And I think God blesses that too. You know, he really does. He created rest for a reason. You know, he knows we need refreshing. And so just make sure that you're giving yourself that time. So Shelly, you enjoy that bath tonight, girl. I love it. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? Anything that popped out to you? She just had good topics, things that she talked about. Kay mentioned exercise. Cannot say this enough, you guys. We preach health to people. We preach health. And you guys, I know I've done several lives about this. And we talk about this with people all the time. It's nutrition, exercise, and supplements. Those three things. But we could also say sleep, water. I mean, there's some other things in there that are important for overall health. But you need to exercise, even if it's 20 minutes of walking. It is so good for your mind, for your body. You will feel so much better. Schedule it in. You don't have to go to CrossFit like me. You guys, I can't tell you how many years I've worked out in my basement. And it was a lot of times just a 30-minute video that I would plug in, or a Tabata graphic that I have on my phone that I found on the internet. I've got like an album full of them. Those take like 20 minutes tops. You can do it. You don't have to have weights. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can just go for a walk, but please take care of your body. We've got these supplements, but schedule and exercise. There's so many benefits to it, and we're preaching it to other people. So we need to take care of
Can
ourselves.
I add something to that too?
Yeah, go for it.
If you can't be disciplined to do it from your basement or your house at a certain time, and you procrastinate, all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, it's 9 o'clock and I have something at 10 o'clock, and you don't do it, then go to a gym where the class starts at 8:15. You're late, you're scrambling, start time is now, then go to the gym. Because that's me. If I work out at home, I'll just put it off, or I gotta do a few dishes. Oh, I gotta do a little laundry. Oh shoot, the workout didn't get done. I have to have a class with a start time.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Kay, because that was me. I was it was being pushed back. It was. So, and now I don't, because I go at 8:30, drop my kids off at school. I go straight to the gym. I sit in my car because I get there at like 10 to 8. I answer some messages. Sometimes I'll read the Bible, or I'll do a quick devotional or whatever. And then I go in and I hang out and I work out, and it's really helped me stay on track.
I just wanted to emphasize what it said on the bottom of 197. I believe it's under the section about unplugging, but I feel like this could be relevant for everything. It's just, we preach duplication all the time. And we were just talking on a coaching call yesterday with someone about, if your team was doing what you're doing today, how would that make you feel? And think about that in all of these areas that we've talked about: exercise, unplugging, all these self-care things, saying no, making time blocking. Like your team, it says your team needs to see you do it. Everything duplicates, and you want them to duplicate a balance between work, their families, and self-care. In all these ways, you guys, we're not only doing it for our people that are watching us. We're trying to attract, prospects and customers. But our teams, that's even more important, because what we do is what they're going to do. And so, if we're commenting in IPA chats or somebody's, Plexus chat during team calls, our teams see that. That's what they're going to do. Our focus, our everything. So we need to just really try hard to set the bar high, so that that's what our teams strive for. And I think that's just what all these little things add up to big things.
Yep. Good thoughts, Jenny.
I know we're almost past time here, but I just want to say one thing. So I don't know if a lot of you or all of you know me and Eric's story about kind of where we were at financially before Plexus came into our lives, but short version, we were in total debt, really struggling financially. And what was happening is that we were not giving our first fruits to God. we were paying our tithe at the end of the money when all the bills are paid first. So we were paying the bills first and not giving to God first, right? He says it in the Bible, give me your first fruits. So we were not doing that. And so we got this opportunity to support a church in Guatemala. And we thought, oh, I don't know if we can afford this, but we're going to trust God and do it. So we set on a monthly amount and we started giving, and we switched and we started paying God first to the church into Guatemala and then paying the bills. And about that same time was when my business just took off and the blessings just came pouring in, and God just kept blessing and blessing. And the verse in Micah about the storehouse, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but that was me and Eric's verse. And so we just, that was important to us. And so we saw that when you give God your first fruits, that he's going to bless your business. And so on page 190, it talks about saying yes to personal development. And we talk about that all the time, that personal development is very, very, very important. I would have never said that as a brand new silver or even a gold, maybe even a senior gold, but now it is 100% crucial to where I am. And I want you guys to know and understand how important it is for personal growth for your journey. Now, my point is that includes getting up in the morning and giving your first fruits to the Lord. When Kay wrote that, I have always said that, like, give your day to the Lord right away, get up and do your devotions and give him your first fruits. And I can tell you that when that happens to me in the morning, when I'm, I get my devotions done, the day just goes better. And so I think that that's important to remember as far as personal development. Yep, we do these book clubs and team calls and all the mindset stuff, and that's great. But, starting your day with the Lord is really important too. And then one quick last thing, then on page 193, downtime can't be work. A lot of people in our profession think they're having downtime when they're actually doing work. So it's not replenishing them. In our profession, scrolling through social media isn't downtime, because that's part of our work, right? So we have to remember that too. That can kind of get in the way sometimes. And I think she's spot on there. So, all right. Yes. Oh, Malachi. That's what I meant. Malachi. Thank you, Kay. I think I said Micah. Anyway, yes. Thanks, ladies.
So good. It was another M chapter, Sal. We got you. Great thought, Sal. Thank you for sharing. Love it. Well, it's 9:08. Anybody else have any other thoughts? Rhonda, do you have anything that you wanted to cover and share? Anything else? No? Okay. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. 2 really great chapters. Really great. Well, really, this whole book is great. So, yeah, thanks you guys for jumping on, for sharing. Love all the thoughts. Just love that people are participating so much. So important. It's what these book clubs are for. All right, you guys have an awesome night. See you next time.